October 12, 1989. Salgado Filho Airport in Porto Alegre, Brazil. Air traffic control spots an unscheduled commercial airliner approaching on radar without prior notice. No radio response, no request for clearance. The aircraft simply glides down, lands smoothly on the runway, and shuts off its engines. When airport staff and local authorities approach the plane, they notice it's a Lockheed Constellation, an old model long out of service. On the side, the logo reads Santiago Airlines. But the real shock came when they opened the doors. Strapped into their seats by seatbelts were the remains of 92 people, all reduced to skeletons. In the cockpit, the captain's skeletal hands were still clutching the flight controls. That plane had taken off from Germany in 1954 and reappeared in Brazil 35 years later. How did a plane travel 3 decades through time? And how did a crew of skeletons land the aircraft? If you search the internet or listen to accounts of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries, Santiago Airlines Flight 513 pops up frequently. The story is detailed. The flight reportedly departed from Aachen, West Germany on September 4, 1954, bound for southern Brazil. Midway across the Atlantic Ocean, it vanished without a trace. No distress calls, no wreckage, just silence. For 35 years, everyone assumed it had crashed into the sea. When it supposedly landed in 1989, wild theories erupted. Rifts in space-time, dimensional portals, alien abduction. Paranormal researchers claimed the aircraft had entered a time warp and that autopilot, or an unknown force, guided the plane back to Earth after 3 decades in a temporal void. The story goes that the Brazilian government covered up the incident, hushing the investigation to prevent global panic. It's a fantastic story, fascinating, and terrifying. But what really happened at Porto Alegre Airport in 1989?
The truth is, this plane never landed in Brazil. It all started on the pages of a famous tabloid newspaper in the United States, the Weekly World News. If you're not familiar with it, the Weekly World News was a sensationalist tabloid that sold millions of copies in the 80s and 90s. They specialized in fabricating totally fictional stories using a deadpan journalistic tone. Around the same time they ran the Flight 513 story, the paper carried headlines like Hell's Gate found by scientists in Alaska or Bat Boy discovered in cave. The writer behind the Flight 513 article, a reporter named Erwin Fisher, used precise details, fictional dates, and technical jargon to make the narrative feel real. Without the internet to instantly fact-check stories back in 1989, newspapers around the globe republished the tale as documented fact. The urban legend took on a life of its own, tricking readers for generations. While Flight 513 was brilliant fiction, real-world aviation hides genuine mysteries that sound straight out of sci-fi. In 1947, a British airliner named the Stardust disappeared over the Chilean Andes just minutes before landing. Right before vanishing into thin air, the radio operator sent a Morse code message that repeated one mysterious, indecipherable word 3 times, STENDEC. For over 50 years, no one knew what happened to the plane or what that word meant. The Stardust was only discovered in 2000, preserved in the mountain ice miles off course. To this day, scientists and historians haven't been able to conclusively explain the meaning of STENDEC. The story of Flight 513 shows us how much the human mind loves the unexplained, enough to turn satire into myth. But it also reminds us that our real world holds secrets that science has yet to solve. How about you? Had you heard the legend of Flight 513 before? And what is your theory on the cryptic STENDEC message from the Stardust flight? Let us know in the comments below, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications to keep exploring the mysterious with us here on Linea do Inexplicabile. Until next time.